heard so many times about the dangers of young people being on social media, in particular TikTok. And somebody that's following my work has sent me in this video that highlights this, so let's go through it together. Okay, so you would have heard me talk a number of times on my Instagram account, on my Facebook account, and all the other social media platforms that I'm posting on about the dangers of social media, and equally as important is why these platforms are not held accountable for the endless crimes that are going on in their direct messaging services, on their news feeds, in their adverts, etc., etc. It's a strong passion of mine to open up this conversation. So somebody who is following my work recently sent me a video about TikTok, and that's the one that I want to go through together. So let's get into this.
I've seen more bullying and harassment on TikTok lives than I ever have on any platform of social media. The zero safeguards in place for children who are the primary users of this app. So when the pandemic hit, I, much like everybody else, went down the TikTok rabbit hole. You hit the little live icon in the top left of the screen, and then TikTok gives you video after video after video of people who are live at that very moment. Fun, wholesome stuff. People dancing, rapping, singing. There's a ton of preachers on there.
God sent you here! Glory to God!
Yes, sir.
And then it stopped ruling and became very, very disturbing.
So your mom has no problem with grown men asking you to unzip your top?
Children go live just like that constantly. The comments she was getting from grown adult men were literally shocking to me. I've been watching a grown adult live on TikTok. A little kid starts commenting.
Let me join it. Look good. Okay, you can join. I'm gonna put your in your place too.
Are you though? Because it's a child. The stuff that I'm showing is mild. These odd interactions between adults and children are occurring in real time for an audience.
Okay, this is what I'm going on about. This is what I'm always going on about. It's in front of our eyes. It's not like we've even got to do any investigation for it. It's happening in the public. Whereas maybe before screens and the internet and phones and tablets, we would say that indecent behaviour towards children was happening behind closed doors. It's no longer behind closed doors. The door is open now. The door is not even on its hinges now. It's here for the world to see on these public platforms. She's talking about TikTok Live. So now that it is in the public eye, of course, we need to do so much more. But my point is, it's being allowed to happen on these platforms. Why are these companies not being held accountable? One of the points that I made quite recently was, if indecent behaviour was to happen towards a child in a school or towards a young person in a workplace or an organisation, that school, workplace or organisation would get shut down immediately, or at least an investigation immediately into what happened. But now we see on these social media platforms, it's happening all of the time. All of the time on something like the live feature. She has just recorded it. This girl here has just recorded it and shown us this. It's not even like it's only happening in direct messages or private messages. So should the owners of these companies not be held accountable that the crimes against children are being carried out on their platform? Why the hell is more noise not being made about this?
generation of children, they are on TikTok. And then there's the other argument, which is it's the parents' responsibility to like shield these kids from this stuff. Yes, correct. But when the parents don't care, the app should.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to stop it again. Okay. Yes, when the parents don't care, the app should. But to try to put the responsibility solely on parents to monitor what their children are doing online, what their children are seeing online, impossible. That's to put all the responsibility solely on parents, I think is incorrect. The only way to do that would be to sit there with the child while they're on the screen and watch every single thing that they're doing forever. Before screens and the internet, let's go back to that. Were we ever putting absolute responsibility on a parent to keep their children safe when they go out to play? We were not doing that. I don't believe we were doing that. Because you can't follow your child everywhere. What you're going to do, get on your bicycle and cycle behind them to the park or to the woods, wherever they're going with their mates? Impossible. Now, children don't play outside as much. They play on the internet, where you cannot be all the time. So to put sole responsibility on parents, I just think is not the correct thing to do. Yes, of course, it would be fantastic if parents would get involved in talking with their children about what they're doing online. Yes, for sure. Schools are included in that. But to kind of put some ownership on them, like full ownership, I just want to stand by I just want to back the parents there.
Watch it, don't worry, she ain't undoing nothing.
When the parents don't care, the app should. At the very least, we should be able to report these people, right? Because this is bullying, this is harassment. Some of these cases, it was straight up. So in both of these situations, I attempted to report the people who were saying stuff like this, and I'm going to show you the response I got. We received your report. Thank you for helping us keep TikTok safe. You'll get a notification when we review your report. 5 seconds later, I got a notification that said we didn't find any violations. We found that the reported content doesn't violate our community guidelines. We understand that you may not want to see this type of content, and you have the option to block this account. So not only is there a huge problem here because the app didn't recognize that it was literally against their community guidelines because it was bullying and harassment, they can't even tell the difference between a comment and content. I was reporting somebody's comment, and I got told this content doesn't violate our community guidelines.
So crazy, right? Because I recently had a TikTok video of mine removed from my account, where I'm talking about I'm reporting on a video that shows a man confronting his abuser at church, and TikTok decided that was not a suitable video. I didn't get a reason, but like what this person's saying on this video, it was against their community guidelines in some way. So my video where I'm trying to open a conversation on confronting abusers and the trouble that people who have been through an experience like this go through, I try to make it educational, as you know, informative. I get pulled off. That particular video gets pulled off TikTok. But adults approaching children in indecent ways never gets caught. It's absolutely crazy.
They have this community guidelines little disclaimer that occurs right before you start watching anybody's live video. Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with others in real time and remember to follow our community guidelines. Well, what are your community guidelines, TikTok? Because I just saw grown men live streaming from prison and inviting literal children to join their live. Before I made this video, I asked a few people's opinions and I showed them what I was going to talk about. One person said, I don't know if that's really prison. I don't see this, and this. I think they're faking it for views, etc. If that's the case, I'm glad. I hope that's what it is, okay? But to me, it seems like it's real.
But I don't plan on wearing no type of orange when I get out.
It appears to me that these are grown men live streaming from prison. Think about the potential of how wrong this could go. This is facilitating kids talking to strangers. I understand we can't always prevent it, but we don't want to facilitate it, right? Even I tried to sort of justify or like defend TikTok in my own mind. At first, I was like, okay, this is an app. It's not a person. They can't possibly control or even know what people are doing in a live video. And then one day I see again people live streaming from prison, and I see this little disclaimer at the bottom of my screen. Consuming substances featured in this live video could harm your health. All right, TikTok, so you can recognize substances that personally I didn't even see in that video, but you can't recognize a child, a living, breathing human child speaking words. Some people, like watching this happen, speak up and say something. Why are you streaming with little kids, etc. But then everyone just moved on and was like, hey, how can I put money on your books? Y'all trying to be in love after lockup? And I'm just, why is nobody talking about this or doing anything? This is not right to me. And again, I'm not trying to just harp on anybody who's in prison. It is absolutely not limited to just people in prison. I didn't have to search at all to find grown adult after grown adult after grown adult bringing children into their live video. Right here again, this lady brings on a 13-year-old boy.
Hi. How old are you?
I'm 13.
A few nights ago, this lady brings this child on.
And I just want you to know you're very pretty.
Thank you.
That kid was smart enough to not show his face. But my gosh, not every little innocent child can rationalize something like that. These kids want to join the live because they think it's fun. They're not always capable of seeing the bigger picture and realizing how dangerous that is. It's the adult's responsibility to not bring kids into their live video and have these weird, inappropriate interactions in front of hundreds of people watching and commenting whatever they want. Just think about it like this. A child joining a strange man or woman's live video is literally talking to strangers, which is what we train kids not to do, with the added weirdness of that said adult audience watching it all happen and commenting whatever they want. Also seeing these kids and watching them in their own homes and bedrooms. You can't edit live videos to shield kids from things they shouldn't see. You can't filter out comments. The most you can do, that I've seen at least, is you can get a mod or a moderator, and half the time when someone is like, hey, will you moderate for me, and like block people who are saying things I don't want them to say, half the time moderators are children. Again, right here we have a grown adult talking to what appeared to me to be two underage girls. I don't exactly know how old they are, but he's sitting there talking about his love life and his relationships with a 16-year-old girl.
He's going mad. It's so mad. I wonder if one day, in 10 or 20 or 30 years, we look back at these times and be like, that was allowed to happen. Nobody stopped that from happening. Starts to feel like so overwhelming, so big that you start to feel like you're forever going to be facing or fighting a losing battle. Makes you feel really defeated.
They can't forgive me because I don't deserve forgiveness. I can't be forgiven.
Why?
Because what I did.
I don't want to get super dark and like get all into speculating what could happen, but if you use your common sense, you think about how impressionable children are, even just through DMs or text, reading text from somebody. Imagine how much more manipulative a grown adult could be with their facial expressions and tone of voice. This is a recipe for disaster. That there is straight up explicit content allowed live, real time on TikTok with zero safeguards in place for children who are the primary users of this app. I've seen people go live just to twerk. The kids are in the room reading the comments as they come in. Explicit comments. TikTok could possibly have some sort of safeguard in place that the other apps have. Maybe this little bitty girl wouldn't have had to have been exposed to these grown men's explicit comments, despite the fact that her mom doesn't seem to care. If someone who works for TikTok happens to see this, please do better. Love you.
Okay. Oh. I just don't know. It's a great video. It's had like millions of views. It's a Facebook video. maybe she's posted it in other places as well, but that's where it was sent to me from. It's had millions of views. I wish one day everybody says enough is enough. Everybody says enough is enough. These situations that these young children are in this live environment is a situation that nobody wants to see a child in. Nobody. But with the birth of the internet, it's like there's more opportunity for the people that want to do these things. Exploitation, taking advantage of. It's like the opportunities are just growing for people to do these things. When is it going to stop? When is every single person that cares going to say enough is enough? When are these people going to be held accountable for the crimes that are happening on their platforms? When are government agencies going to come in and order for make it mandatory for a certain percentage of the gigantic profits that these companies are making to be put into safeguarding their platforms? Here's something else actually, I just thought about this. Can someone think of a very clever way of making money out of safeguarding? Okay. Can someone, let me just make sure I got that correct in my head. Can someone figure out a clever way of making money out of making things safer for children? Is there some way that somebody could create some kind of software or something like that, software or procedure where that creates revenue? Obviously I don't know what the answer is. Yeah, obviously. But if money can be made out of it, you get people chasing it. And if it's a good thing that they're chasing and it's doing good, then what more could we want? I heard someone discussing something that was very interesting. It was a couple of years ago that I heard about it. And that was, even if you forced big social media platforms to start monitoring their services more closely. Let's say you force them to put 10% of their profits into safeguarding their platforms, and you ordered for there to be a report every month about what they'd found. They're not actually going to try that hard, because the harder they try, the bigger the numbers they find. The harder they try, the more people they find, the more situations they find, the more users they find that are committing crimes against children on their platforms. And they don't want to publish that. You know, of course they don't want to publish that, because that's not good for the branding, is it? So actually, it's like you are fighting a losing battle. They want to show how safe their platforms are, not that they're realizing how much crime is going on their platforms. Okay. I hate it when I'm reviewing these videos that make me feel like this. I hate it, because now I struggle for the rest of the day with this feeling inside of me. However, I also understand that avoiding it and not going through these videos for that reason is no way forward. It's no way forward. Okay, that will do. Thank you.